What's going on, guys? It's Eric again, back with another video. Kind of want to talk some Detroit Lions football today, so kind of let's get started. But before I get that going, kind of let me know how I'm kind of doing here with a microphone kind of setting up and kind of me setting up kind of some better posture instead of kind of me sitting over here trying to sound better here on this on the trying for the audio. So kind of let me know down in the comments how I kind of sound here, so I can kind of adjust this microphone to kind of sound better here. Just let me kind of know down in the comments here. So let's get started here, guys. I got the Lions draft up here on my other monitor. My initial thoughts on the draft now that I've had a couple of weeks to process kind of what I've seen and heard, and my own personal thoughts is it's kind of an average draft for the Detroit Lions. No real wow kind of players on here. I think there's some good players on here, like the Brendan Branch pick 45. Thought that was damn good value for that guy. I'm surprised he was there that long. And the other one that's kind of was a wow kind of thing was the Hendon Hooker at 68. It was a head scratcher, and even the Jamar Gibbs at 12 was a head scratcher. So let's kind of start there. I can only really talk about the first round because that's the one I really only watched. I didn't watch a second through the seventh rounds on here. I'm going to give my thoughts on the rest of these guys here. Just my very, very much armchair couch fan opinion on this. So kind of take this with a grain of salt. I kind of want to just more or less give my thoughts on here. But when I was watching the draft a couple of weeks ago, when it kind of started, there was some kind of maneuvering going on, and there was maneuvering going on all around the draft. I was keeping an eye on ESPN on my app, kind of seeing where the Detroit Lions were at, and they made a lot of moves. Actually, pretty much all the teams were making moves, jumping up, jumping back, all throughout the draft. And the one that kind of got me was at pick 6 when the Detroit Lions came there. Now, I don't have the actual draft up here to see who the players were available or whatnot. I'm only relying off my memory. But when pick 6 came to there, I was kind of like, well, are they going to go ahead and get Jalen Carter, or are they going to go ahead and get the cornerback from Oregon? His name escapes me right now. I'm sure you guys will let me know down in the comments who that was. Or are they going to trade back? Well, they ended up trading back. Now, I thought trading back was the right move at that point in time when they haven't made the pick yet. Going back to 12, I kind of thought was interesting to be like, wow, they're kind of going to 12 here to try to figure out where they're going to kind of what player are they going to take. Well, as the kind of draft goes on, certainly wasn't Jalen Carter. They didn't. Obviously, they weren't impressed with Jalen Carter. I don't know why they were not impressed with Jalen Carter. I haven't heard any report or anything like that, and I really haven't. I'll admit I haven't really done a whole lot of research on why they didn't pick Jalen Carter. I'm sure someone knows why that is, or a reporter knows that, and they've reported on it. But I was like, okay, Jalen Carter's not the guy because he was taken by the Eagles, and at the time I thought the Eagles had a little bit of a luxury to do that, to kind of get Jalen Carter there, where they picked him at, and can kind of be the guy that he can be. I hope it's not another Aaron Donald situation to where they just passed on him. Now they passed on him, of course, for all the stuff that happened down in with the drag racing incident. But I was like, okay, that's certainly not Jalen Carter. Well, then they get Jahmyr Gibbs from Alabama, and I was like, wow, okay, they got a running back? And I'm into the camp, guys, of you don't take running backs high in the draft, and you don't pay for running backs. Just like with the Jamal Williams, that whole contract negotiation thing where he ended up going to the Saints. In this day and age, guys, I'm sticking my flag into the ground here, and I'm saying that in this day, at least in this era of the NFL, the running back position is not as important as it once was. Not back with the Barry Sanders years or the Billy Sims years, which I have seen Billy Sims. I said that in other videos where right at the end of his career, where running backs were put up on a higher pedestal than what they are today. Running backs are kind of more of a wide receiverish hybrid type of player, and all of the 31 teams, including the Detroit Lions, don't value running backs. Well, in this case, Detroit said, hey, let's get the best running back in the draft. We'll get Jahmyr Gibbs. And kind of basically what I've seen and what I've heard from other pundits, ESPN, Pride of Detroit, Sports Illustrated, those kind of stuff, they kind of give him high grades on here. So I've kind of came around to that pick. Now, am I happy with the pick? No. But I've came around to the pick that he could be kind of an X factor this season. And then they go ahead and hit Jack Campbell, which to me that's fine at number 18. We need linebacker help. Um, the guy that they, the person that they re-signed, I can't remember, his name escapes me right now. I didn't think the 3-year deal for him was the right move, but I think that the Lions kind of thought, well, we really don't have many other options, so let's get him a 3-year deal and kind of roll with him. And if he doesn't work out, they can always cut him, and hopefully for not a big hit on the cap here. And then they kind of go down and get Sam Laporta, which I really don't know a whole lot about him. I know Iowa usually has pretty good tight ends. So I'm really, that kind of pick to me is just more or less kind of a throw your hands up in the air on. The Brandon Branch and the Hendon Hooker ones I kind of want to touch on here. I think the Brian Branch out of Alabama, the defensive back, was a hell of a good pick for the Detroit Lions. That's adding value. I like his play based on the very little I've seen of him. Basically in the national championship games and the semifinal games I've watched, very, very good player. Now, I really haven't watched him in the SEC during the season, but maybe other people down there watching this in SEC land can give a better description of him and how his play has been throughout his time at Alabama. I'm really high on that guy, and I think that is a good pick. Now, the Hendon Hooker pick to me is a head scratcher here, guys. We all know Hendon Hooker is kind of a little bit older. I think he was in there to protect Jared Goff. I think Jared Goff is going to be the starting quarterback. To me, there's no doubt Jared Goff's going to be the starting quarterback. Anyone else who says that the Hendon Hooker's he will compete for that place, but I think Jared Goff is their guy to go to. He hasn't shown any reason for them to not put him at the starting role for that 8-2, the last 10 games of the season, last season. So I don't think Hendon Hooker is there. It's more or less protection in case Jared Goff gets hurt or, God forbid, they want to go a different direction. He is there. Maybe get him a couple of years. Get him seasoned in the NFL here, kind of develop him, and the sky's the limit for Hendon Hooker, I will admit, but it was kind of a head scratcher to take him at the third round at number 68. I was hoping to get Bennett from Georgia, because you guys know on the last couple of videos that I've seen, if you guys have followed me, I have said that man is a 2-time national champion. He's a leader of men. I'm just surprised that Detroit didn't consider him. Maybe they considered him in the later rounds. I don't even know where he was taken either. But I was a big, big advocate of getting Bennett, only because he knows how to win, and he knows how to win with good players. That's the only reason why I kind of wanted him on the Detroit Lions team, and not Hendon Hooker. And kind of the last one here that I was kind of surprised about, and I've heard his name mentioned here a couple of times, was Antone Green, the wide receiver out of North Carolina. I think that is a hell of a good pick, especially at number 7. Just the stuff he has done there in North Carolina, now the highlights of him, the sky's the limit for him too. He's a very good player. I don't know if he's hurt or not. Like I said, I've done very little research, if any, on some of these guys. Like the Broderick Martin pick, I haven't done any research on. But Antone Green, I think, is a hell of a pick, especially at number 7. I think he could be a part of the rotation at 6'3", 200 pounds. He could be I don't want to say he could be a CJ type player, but he could be that guy that's you could be like, whoa, man, the Lions got him and he's a 7th round pick. I think I like that pick a lot. The value is right there for them, and I think he'll do well here for the Detroit Lions. I think he'll be a part of the rotation. I really do think he'll be a part of the rotation about that. So kind of overall with everything, guys, I think that it's about a C+. I don't think it's quite a B. And that's maybe only because I'm thinking about everyone else saying it was an average draft, and you're just trying to get the best player that you can. That's kind of just my feeling on it, and I'll just kind of leave it there. With the free agent acquisitions with Mosley and with Montgomery, again, paying Montgomery, you don't pay running backs, just kind of what I said before about the running backs in this era not being as valued as high as what in the NFL is kind of what they once were, but Brad kind of thinks differently about that. He likes his running backs. We'll just have to wait and see how this all works out. The Mosley CJ, I think it's CJ Mosley, or maybe CJ Moore, I can't remember. I should bring it up here real quick. Or excuse me, CJ Gardner Johnson. I think that's a hell of a pick from the Eagles. I think he'll do really well here. We already talked about David Montgomery. I'm kind of going on, scrolling through ESPN right now with the signings. Cameron Sutton, the cornerback. I also think he was a very, very good pickup on here. It helps our defensive backs and our secondary for sure. And Emmanuel Mosley here too. That was another great pickup by Brad. And when he got all those guys, I was like, dang, man, what's going on? And there's a couple, the Martin Jones Jr., I thought bringing him back was a good idea. I didn't think he did all that bad for the Lions. We didn't do anything great, but he didn't do really anything bad. I thought he was solid with the Lions when he was with them. And I think the only reason he left was because of the uncertainty of the team at that point. I think he wants to be back here. That's my own personal opinion on this. Alex Azalone, I'm sorry. That's the guy that they re-signed him for that 3-year deal. Not really. Like I said, guys, I think it was an insurance policy for him to bring him back. I don't think he did all that bad. I don't think he did great either. I think he has room for improvement, and if the Lions kind of give him some tough love, I think that's really what he needs is some tough love and to kind of tell him to go after these guys, but he's got to be calculated on when he does that. And we kind of seen that kind of going on throughout the season. If he can do more of that and get better and better and better, he may be a great asset to the team here. And I'm just kind of scrolling through here, kind of thinking some other guys. Glasgow was another great pickup. I think that was another one of the things of the uncertainty of the team, and he kind of left, and now he's been brought back because he has probably seen and probably heard different things about the Detroit Lions and kind of where they're trending upward, and the organization kind of seems to be stable now. Things of that nature. Excuse me while I'm drinking a cup of coffee here. And it's kind of really where I think the Lions are at here. That's kind of the big stuff kind of for me right now here, guys. I was going to touch on the Kansas City thing, but I think that's a video of its own here. I'll give you a little teaser here, guys. I think we're going to be competing in that game just based on how Dan's kind of coming along with this, how Brad feels, how the fans feel, especially for that 8-2 run that they went on in the last 10 games. I really think they can go into Arrowhead and maybe even escape with a win. I will put it. I'm going to give that little teaser out there, and I'll tell you guys why I kind of think that in a video about the Detroit Lions, guys. But let me know what you guys think. We're up to 13 minutes here. I'll probably edit down here and whatnot. I really didn't mean to go 13 minutes, but I kind of want to start making some more videos for you guys to get some more Detroit Lions on here. We'll probably do some Tigers here too, although I don't get Bally Sports on YouTube TV. So I can't really watch Tigers to give my assessment on it, although they've been winning. I will say that. They have been winning, and they're probably 450 team right now, kind of on the cusp of 500, at least right now in the middle of May. We'll have to see how the rest of the season kind of goes out here, but they're not doing too bad. I will admit that. But let me know what you guys think down here in the comments on kind of what I've said on here. What are your guys' thoughts on the draft and on the free agent acquisitions, and maybe even give a little teaser of your own on how Kansas City, Detroit kickoff, NFL kickoff game is going to go. I really think we're going to be, I think Arrowhead is going to be like, man, the Detroit Lions, man, they're a damn good team. I'm sure they know it here too, but maybe they're to the point of being the Super Bowl champions. They can kind of puff their chest and be like the Lions. But maybe they might be like, dude, this is going to be a tough game. Very, very tough game. But let me know what you guys think kind of down there in the comments. Also, let me know what I could do better. Comments, criticisms, kind of that stuff I would really enjoy seeing on here. It's only going to make me a better YouTube video. Give this a thumbs up if you like this video. Give it a thumbs down if you do not. And also hit that subscribe button down there so you guys get more videos just like this one. All right, here, guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you guys again soon. Deuces. Take care, guys.